Hey, it's Mike with TechPB.com, and today we're going to do the real review on the Dangerous Power G3. Now, I went actually through and kind of counted some of my emails that I've gotten to review this gun, and I'm approaching 700 requests to review the Dangerous Power G3. So finally, we're going to do the real review on the Dangerous Power G3. Now, I wanted to make sure when I do a review on a gun, I like to take it out and put 4 or 5 cases through it before I even form an opinion on it. So finally I've done that with the G3, so I feel like I can really give it a good review. Alright, first things first, Dangerous Power always have done an amazing job on what they put inside the box. They put a nice little barrel sock in there, some extra O-rings, comes with some extra Allen keys, looks like an extra on-off button. I don't see any detents in there, some stickers, and they come with a really nice manual that breaks down this entire gun. I mean, this is just really, really cool how they've done this manual. And I know it's got to cost a fortune to do this too, but manual is great. A couple things that I really liked about the gun right from the beginning is the gun already comes with a PSP 13 balls per second mode. But it's the 5, you got to hit the 5 ball per second pull in order to get it to start ramping, and there's going to be more on that later. Something else that it comes with, which is really cool, is the board comes stock with first shot drop-off protection, which is badass. What they do is for your first shot, they up the dwell 2 milliseconds to make sure that you don't get any bolt stick or anything like that. That's a really good job. Gun is incredibly simple to take apart. Very, very easy to take apart, but great job on the manual. And I will tell you something that's really cool about the manual is, and I'll share another tip with you, always take your manuals with you to the field, especially when you're playing a tournament. But you can take this manual, roll it up nice and tight like that, stick it into like a die lock lid pod, and you can put some tools in there and everything like that. So you guys are looking to put together a little toolkit. Here's your start. Get a like a die lock lid pod, which generally a little bit bigger than the normal pods. You can take your manual, stick it inside there, maybe put some Allen keys in there in a Ziploc bag, maybe some lubricant, some Q-tips, maybe a couple other things that you may need, some O-rings or anything like that, and you got yourself a little miniature toolkit for the field. But okay, moving on. Let's take a look at the gun here. First thing I really liked about the gun, lever lock feed neck. Awesome lever lock feed neck, and it's not like the Smart Parts Q-Lock that your loader has a tendency to wiggle back and forth or side to side with. This lever lock feed neck clamps on very tight. Does a great job. Inside the feed neck here, you can see there's teeth, so it's going to grab on the loader really hard. Great feed neck. Comes with a 14-inch barrel, pretty heavily ported barrel. Great job on the barrel. Comes with this little carrying hook for you guys that play scenario paintball or at fields where it takes a long way to get up there. You guys are playing woods ball, or you got a long ways to walk. Comes with a nice little hook, so you can probably clip a little D-ring on there. Great regulator. I mean, I saw pretty good consistency over the chronograph. Definitely no problems with the regulator, and it is a lot like a die regulator where it does pivot, and it comes with a locking screw that locks the bottom of the regulator. So say you want your regulator, the fitting to come out right there, you can actually lock it down. Regulator is very easy to take apart. Comes with a phenomenal ASA. It's what they call the flip ASA. As you can see there, you flip it down to pressurize your gun. Flip it up to release the air out of it. Now, the Dangerous Power, it will hold air pressure in here, even though the lever is up. So you do have to be careful, because right now this gun still is pressurized. Let's see if it'll shoot. Yeah. So as you can see, it does hold pressure just like a CP does, a CP regulator. Trigger is just like the Threshold, and I will be coming out with the Magnet trigger kit for this gun. This gun already has it in there. But great trigger. I mean, trigger's got pretty good feel when you're getting on it. I'm not a big fan of the optical board. I just don't like it. I like micro switches. To each his own. Me personally, I like micro switches. I like the feel, the precision of a micro switch. Optical boards, I'm not too fond of. So that's it. Also, the grip frame is rail mounted. The bottom of the grip, they did mill it for a rail. So, if you don't like this ASA, and I don't know why you wouldn't like this ASA, but if you want to put your own on there, it does have a rail, so you can put your own on there. This little hook right here is removable, and it's a very easy gun to use, very easy to take apart. It's one button operation. So that's all, pretty much all the positives on the gun. Okay, now let's get into some of the negatives that I see. Efficiency is pretty good. We'll say efficiency is pretty good. I'd put it up there with any of the dye guns. Efficiency is pretty good. But something that drives me crazy with these boards. Now, this gun is ready for 99% of all paintball players. Okay, if you're just playing at your local field, rec ball, scenario ball, this gun's great. I personally would never take this gun to a tournament, and I'm going to show you why. For tournaments, you need PSP 3-shot, and this board does not come with it. This board comes with PSP ramping, means you need to hit 5 balls per second for the gun to ramp. Now, let me show you the difference between PSP ramping and PSP 3-shot. PSP ramping is this. You get on. Okay. Now watch what happens when, let's say for instance, I'm shooting down a lane, and then all of a sudden the person that I'm shooting at decides to come out and battle me, and we start getting into a snap shooting duel. As I start shooting, okay, I have to pull the trigger, and for every one time I pull the trigger after I get off the ramping, it's only going to shoot 1 ball. Now let me show you what PSP 3-shot is like. Get into the mark. Okay, say for instance I'm shooting with my mark and I'm holding down a lane. Okay, I start shooting. One finger. That's the difference, okay? When this board, every time you start getting into a snap shooting duel, you're only going to be putting 1 ball back. A person with PSP 3-shot is going to be shooting 3 shots back at you. Because every time they come out, they're putting 3 balls in the air. Every time you come out and you tap the trigger once, you're only going to be putting 1 ball in the air. So, I'm not a big fan of PSP ramping mode. I love PSP 3-shot mode. It works awesome when you're out there, especially when you're battling with someone. They put 1 ball in the air and you put 3 balls in the air. But, you know, there you go. Now we just had the gas exhaust out of this. But that is just something that I wanted to stick out really quickly about the board. I don't know why, you know, obviously the person who designed this board does not play tournament paintball, because the first time he goes out there and he's shooting against a Planet Eclipse or a Bob Long or, you know, like an Infinity with a Woz board or an Eclipse or any of those guns that have 3-shot, when he comes out and he puts 1 ball in the air, that person's going to be putting 3 coming back. So that's why I say for PSP or any of the any sort of X-Ball tournaments, me personally, until they come out with a better board or a software update, I would never take this to a PSP tournament. But for 99% of the paintball players out there that don't play tournaments, this gun is a very, very, very solid gun. I think I'd give this gun ranking probably about an 8 out of 10. It retails for about 430 bucks. You guys that are interested in buying them, I have 2 of them in stock, 430 bucks. I'll ship them to your house. But it's a good, solid gun. It's extremely light. Okay. Gun came in at 1 pound. Hope you can see that. 10.6 ounces is what it came in at with the battery, with the macro line, everything except for the barrel. 1 pound, 10.6 ounces. That's a pretty light gun. I mean, that puts it right up there with the Edge. I'm sorry, not the Edge, but the Vice. Very, very lightweight gun. It's small, feels good in the hands, very easy to control. Great eyes. The eyes, they put nice eyes in there. The eyes are very similar to like the dies with the eye wires. Also has spring-loaded Delrin detents inside here, which is very nice, very similar to the Mark. So all in all, solid gun for 430 bucks. If Dangerous Power would just put the PSP 3-shot into their boards, I think this would be a phenomenal gun. I'd rate this gun easily an 8 out of 10. Great, great gun. Dangerous Power, you guys did a great job. Now I'll take it onto the field and I'll show you how it shoots on the field. Move your fingers. When you're shooting the gun, you can see it ramps, but unless you're consistently pulling it at 5 balls per second or faster, the gun doesn't ramp. So like, you know, you have the dies or the Virtue boards or the Bob Long or the Planet Eclipse, you can 3-shot by just pulling the trigger. You can't do that with the Dangerous Power. So I'll show you. You start getting on it. See, you can't 3-shot.